now after the lockdown period, if OTT platforms emerge as the most important release platform, do you think, one, that this will happen, and secondly, do you think that larger than life films, the kind which you make, will ever go out of fashion? Will cinemas ever go out of fashion? What can be the real situation maybe 1 year or 2 years from now?
Okay, let's put it this way. In the 80s or late 80s or early 90s, when Star Network came to India, where most of the houses got these color televisions, and they had the choices of literally hundreds of film at their button. There was a big talk that the cinema halls are going to close, because
Yes.
when people have the choice of their content at their fingertips, now why will they go? But what happened eventually was that, yes, television became a big success, but cinema halls were still there. So what happened is that we have segregated film audience, segregated TV audience,
Television.
and some audience who watch the film both on film and TV. The same thing happened when personal devices or OTT platforms came into being. But OTT is growing at much bigger rate, faster rate than television. But we have segregated film audience, we have segregated TV audience, and we have segregated film audience, web,
OTT.
let's call them web audience. Web audience. And there are some people who watch on 3 different platforms. Who would watch only on OTTs, who will watch on television and OTTs. So we have combination audiences also, until the lockdown happened, and OTT is growing bigger. Now, as a content maker, it gives me a wider audience, to appeal to the wider audience, which is good for me. But coming from the cinema hall's perspective, they would say, like, no, OTTs are eating away into my business. Don't release the film so quickly on the OTTs. Postpone it, and those kind of arguments will be going on. They will find their own common ground in that. Now, because of the lockdown, because the cinema halls are closed down, obviously people who are looking for entertainment will go to channels and OTTs, which they will grow even more. At present, cinema halls are gone. Only these 2 platforms are there, and they're going to go at a faster rate. Now, when the things come back to normalcy, maybe 1 year, 1.5 years, we don't know. We don't know when the cinema halls are going to open. Maybe when they open, they might have some restrictions. We don't know at present. So let's assume they open after 1 year in normal capacity. The question is whether the people will come back to the cinema theater or not. I would assume, I would presume that they will come like a wave. They will come in rows. For them to come first, it is not whether government lifts the lockdown or not. First, they have to have a confidence. The fear of the disease has to go out of their mind. Eventually,
sense of security and safety.
Sense of security, safety. Once it comes in, they will come in rows to the theaters.
Wow.
Not because we are making great films. No, mostly we make bad films. They come because a human being is a social animal. He wants to have his entertainment with the rest of the others. You can test for yourself if there is a comedy scene that you really liked. No, if you're watching on your mobile device, you will just give a smile. If you're watching with 10 of your friends, there is a little bit more a chuckle maybe. But you watch the same scene in the theater, there will be a roaring laughter. That's an experience that you get only in a theater. So people go to the theater not because we make great films, because they have a social experience. That is what brings people to the theater. And they're so habituated for it for such a long time. Once the fear of the disease goes in, they're going to come to the theaters in huge numbers, no doubt about it. At least that is what I think. But by the time they come to the theaters, they have been watching content on OTTs and channels for almost a year. So they have been subjected to various kinds of content.
True.
From world across. So the taste would have evolved. So they will come in numbers, but they're not the same audience that you had a year before. They are an evolved audience. So as a filmmaker, you also have to grow. You also have to assume that these audiences are not the same audience. They are going to come in big numbers, but they are much more the taste. They have seen and heard much more. So
So they'll
you
be more
have your film
demanding.
has, there will be more demand. Exactly, that's the word. There will be more demanding. If you meet the
Oh.
demand, you are going to ride the wave. If you don't meet the demand, you are going to drown.
Oh. So to be able to meet the demand, filmmakers also need to keep abreast of the latest changes by being hooked on to OTT platforms. Would that be the right way of putting it?
It OTT platform doesn't matter. See,
Hmm.
OTT or channel, when see filmmakers always try to make something that people like. No, that is how you survive. So
True.
when they see one or two, I mean, as the content comes onto the platforms or onto the TV, there's going to be a success rate or a failure rate. At present, I don't know how they say it,
Correct.
but finally you discover, oh, this is what the people are liking. This is what the people are liking, and filmmakers obviously will try to evolve.
True.
They try to evolve. They try
True.
to get better.
Hmm. Hmm.
So not only we'll have an evolved audience, we will also have evolved filmmakers. So us traditional filmmakers have a big challenge to face.
Very nice. And I'm sure filmmakers like you and like many others of your ilk will rise to the occasion, and cinema is here to stay. So let's just say not just cinemas as cinemas where people go to see films, but also the film industry is here to stay,
Yeah.
whatever the situation, whatever the conditions.